So a couple months ago, I reviewed the first 3 volumes of Kill or Be Killed, not knowing that Volume 4 was actually going to be the last one. So here's a real quick review on that.
This is the introduction song. It's not very good, but it's not too long.
Like I said, if I had known that Volume 4 was going to be the last part of this series, then I would have just waited till it came out and reviewed all 4 of them together. But, whatever, that's not what happened. So the important question is this a good climax to the series? And I think, yeah, it really was. So at the end of Volume 3, Dylan found out that the demon was in fact real, and it wasn't a hallucination at all. And he winds up getting admitted to a mental hospital for various reasons. And then, while he's there, he's no longer doing his vigilante thing. In fact, there's actually a copycat going around. But, the Russians are still looking for him, the police are still looking for him, and eventually it all comes to a head right at the very end, and I'll admit I didn't see the ending coming. I actually had to think about it for a couple of days after I finished reading to decide if I liked it or not, but at the end, yeah, I think I did like it. I think it was a really solid ending. Again, it took me by surprise. It really stuck with the themes of this story. It was pretty thought-provoking, and yeah, I really liked it. Another thing that was definitely an improvement in this volume was the artwork, because, like I said before, the artwork for the first 3 volumes was mostly just way too dark. And there were really long narration passages where there was just, half the page was just blank and it had words on it, and I was not a big fan of either of those. But in this one, there's still a lot of darkness in it. However, it takes place during winter and there's constantly snow all over the place, so there's contrast with it. There's contrast between light parts of the panel and dark parts of the panel. There's colorful areas and there's less colorful areas. And yes, that makes everything pop more. It makes it stand out a lot more. And so, yes, the art is definitely a huge improvement in this one. Beyond that, it's pretty much just more of the same. It's a continuation of the same story. You got the same couple of characters going around, and I really liked that this was a pretty short, contained series. It didn't go on way longer than it needed to. It didn't meander around. It didn't add in a bunch of subplots or side characters that it didn't need. It was just a really, really kick-ass story that took some ideas that we're all familiar with and just pulled them in a totally different direction, and so, yeah, I fucking loved it. And while this is extremely violent and, it has a lot of sex and stuff, so it's definitely not for kids, and if that sort of thing makes you squeamish, it's not for you either. And I would recommend this to just about everyone. Even if you're not particularly interested in vigilantism or vigilantes or whatever, just seeing it from a different angle makes reading these worth it.